everybody, this is Connor Madigan on the Solutions Engineering team here at Youreka. This short video is to introduce everyone to one of the Youreka Delta release's most interesting and dynamic new features. We're calling this dynamic table sections. And the purpose of this feature is to give Youreka Forms unprecedented flexibility in not only the amount of data that they can capture, but how people can capture it and whether or not they know that they need to capture it in the first place. These tables are designed to both grow horizontally and vertically, north, south, east, west, and can expand in row and column-based layouts. And the cool part about this is that each row or column is able to become a real Salesforce record, which means that we have instantly usable, clean data that goes right in as records that are instantly usable for things like Agentforce, reporting, dashboarding, etc. And another bonus is that we can not only have these tables inside of the forms, but they can be connected. So if we are able to add one row to a table, we can automatically trigger the requirement of an additional record in the next table. And finally, as with most Youreka features, this will work across mobile, online, offline, if we're connected in a web browser on a laptop or a desktop computer, and these will also feed forward into Youreka's advanced PDF generation capabilities so that we can have them as part of an output. But let's take a look at what one of these might look like. I have my iPad running on my desk here. Let's hop into an electrical check form. And I have my dynamic tables over on page 3, and we can see here to start, they're pretty blank. And if I want to add a single column, I can do this. But note that when I have my uncrating checkoff columns added, we'll also add the required additional tests in order to certify that I've unpacked and calibrated this asset correctly. So I can add a single column, and we'll see these questions be added to both of these separate tables. And reminder, these can be registered as multiple related records inside of the system. So now if I need to add 3 additional columns, if I am inspecting 3 assets, and I just pulled all 3 out of the box, now I have this table that I can pan east to west, left to right on, and the additional tests below it. And if I need to revise and delete these, I can tap one of these little trash cans and the columns will delete themselves and of course go across the table too. But let's go ahead and enter in a couple data points here. Maybe this is part number 123, 123, and 1234. And we can certify that my parts are in good shape, the wire gauge has been correct, and we can move on with the additional testing portion of this table. And maybe the additional tests, we're just going to say they all passed, everything is looking good, and we can move on down the form. So it's difficult to show in a very quick video how important and incredibly powerful this dynamic table feature is. But then if we want to have an additional look at, hey, maybe I've identified some issues or some other problems when I've uncrated and started to expand on this, this table will allow us to enter in data in a number of different ways. And this could include something of a long text using speech-to-text dictation. There were a couple of finishing issues on this particular piece of equipment, nothing that is going to prevent it from functioning correctly, but I think that our QA team can do a little bit better. And I won't be replacing this one on such a small issue. I can decommission the serial number and we'll say that no, that we haven't replaced it, and add any additional notes that I need to. And we can, just as before, expand these columns and add additional rows as needed. And we can see that this takes place not only in this table up here, but then in the subsequent one as well. And so maybe we'll go across here, say, yes, this one was preventable, and we can expand on this. Need better finish QA. And we'll maybe say that our next one was not preventable. But in essence, what we've been able to do is use Youreka's new dynamic table feature as part of our Delta release to enable technicians to not only test and record a wide variety of pieces of equipment and data points, but we've also given them the flexibility to have a form that grows and expands with their needs when they are in the field. And of course, when we were to bring this back to desktop after we have submitted the form, we can see that in our carbon copy version on desktop, of course, we're bringing across our graphs, but then we have these individual forms and fields inside of them as well. So our dynamic tables naturally will cascade over into desktop, and just like any other Youreka forms, if I need to make edits, further modifications, or changes inside of desktop, I have the ability to do so. So once again, dynamic tables is part of Youreka's Delta release. Very exciting new feature that allows technicians to capture a huge amount of data, but do it in such a way that maybe we weren't able to predict in a pre-field situation. So looking forward to seeing how all of our customers are able to deploy this and find creative new uses for this feature. Thank you.